It was a chilly October evening when Emily arrived at the concert venue. She had been counting down the days to see her favorite band perform live. The air buzzed with excitement as the crowd lined up outside the gates, their chatter blending with the distant hum of the city. Emily had come alone, but that didn't bother her. She loved the idea of losing herself in the music, surrounded by strangers all experiencing the same moment. As the gates opened and the crowd flooded in, Emily felt a strange chill run down her spine. She brushed it off as excitement, but something about the night felt off. The venue, an old theater that had been standing for nearly a century, loomed above her like a forgotten relic. Its cracked facade and dimly lit windows gave it an eerie aura. Inside, the atmosphere was electric. The stage was bathed in a haunting purple glow, and fog machines filled the air with a mist that seemed to cling to the floor. Emily found her spot near the front, excited for the show to start. She glanced around, noticing how packed the venue had become. People pressed close on all sides, but the faces around her seemed oddly unfamiliar, as if she couldn't quite place them. Some of them stared straight ahead, expressionless, not talking or reacting to anything happening around them. The lights dimmed, and the crowd erupted in cheers. The band took the stage, and the music began. But as the first notes rang out, something strange happened. The crowd seemed to fall into a trance. Their movements slowed, their cheers died out, and they all stood still, staring up at the stage with empty eyes. Emily's heart raced as she looked around. Was she imagining this? Why wasn't anyone else reacting? Suddenly, a cold hand gripped her arm. She spun around, expecting to see someone trying to push past her, but instead, she saw a man standing far too close. His eyes were dark, and his skin had a sickly, grayish hue. He smiled, revealing teeth that were far too sharp.
"You shouldn't be here,"
he whispered, his voice barely audible over the music. Emily pulled away, her heart pounding in her chest. She tried to move, to push through the crowd, but no one else seemed to notice her panic. They all stood still, swaying gently to the music, their faces blank. Desperation clawed at her as she shoved her way toward the exit, but no matter how hard she tried, the door seemed farther away with each step. The music grew louder, almost deafening, as if it were coming from inside her head. The man appeared again, this time in front of her, blocking her path. His smile had grown wider, more sinister. "Stay. The show isn't over," he hissed, his voice blending with a distorted melody. Emily's vision blurred. She felt a pressure in her chest, like something was pulling her toward the stage. The fog thickened, swirling around her feet, and the crowd seemed to close in on her, their faces now twisted into grotesque smiles. In a final burst of adrenaline, Emily broke free and bolted toward the nearest exit. As she pushed through the door, the cold night air hit her like a wave. She stumbled out onto the street, gasping for breath. The music faded behind her, but when she turned back to look at the theater, it was dark and silent. The marquee, once lit up with the band's name, was now blank. There were no posters, no signs of the crowd, nothing. It was as if the concert had never happened at all. Emily stood frozen, her heart still racing. Had it been real? Was it some twisted nightmare? As she walked away, trying to make sense of it, she felt a chill run down her spine again. A whisper echoed in her ear. "The show never ends."